Hey, what is up guys, Marzi here, back to do another video, and today I've got a very interesting game on Tiki Tomo. This is an individual game. We'll be playing as, once again, the Marked of Kane. Hope you all enjoyed that previous video with the Marked of Kane Vertigo Bomber strategies and Spectre / Scorpion tank strategies. I highly encourage you guys to watch that video if you haven't seen it already. Nonetheless, this is another game. And this one here is going to be played against Shock Treppers, so I'm playing versus good players. And I want to revise this game because I think I could improve this strategy more. I was surprised at it, very much so. Now, Marked of Kane, as mentioned in the prior video, they don't have any flame rushes, so the only thing your opponent has to be concerned about this stage really is the mass EMPs that the Awakened can use on their refineries and their harvesters early on, not to mention the bikes. If you EMP the War Factory with the Awakened squads, that can delay the response to a bike rush. No need for me really to make a Raider buggy to scout because I invested in these Awakened. I was versus random, so I was unaware that my opponent would be the faction that he is, but typically if you open Awakened like I did, you don't want to go for a Raider buggy to scout because then you'll have your third harvester stalling. And once again, it's another hot day, not really used to this temperature. 40 degrees, man, it is very hot here. Got a fan in the background, hopefully it's not making too much noise. The bearings on it can sometimes be pretty bad, but so far it's holding up. Bike rush though, and I anticipated this would happen. I wasn't able to scout, so the best play for me would be to just make 3 bikes after my third harvester. Excellent EMP by me though, I was able to splash 2 of those bikes down. That was a great play. But despite that, I'm still behind on harvester count. But the bikes, they didn't achieve very much. If I had not made bikes after my third harvester, yes, of course, I would have lost a harvester. Or at the very least, it would have been delaying my harvesting. Shock Trepper did take the defensive tower in the middle of the map. That just sniped one of my bikes. And I've changed my mind. I see double War Factory. I can't really build a third refinery and hope to hold against Bike Buggy at this stage. He could all in and go 4 harvester, 2 War Factory, and then I wouldn't be able to stop him. And since I know he's got that defensive tower, instead of responding in kind with my own 2 War Factories, which would ultimately fail because he's got that defensive tower, I'm going to opt for the quad tower upgrade, which will give my laser turrets that 4th turret on the hub. So if Shock Trepper invests heavily into bikes, I can spam my quad turret shredders and quad turret laser turrets. In R20, the cost and upgrade duration was reverted to how it was in patch 1.0. That's to say, it is now a $1,000 upgrade, accessible at this stage of the game, because we found it is not OP due to the rebalancing efforts made on the turrets overall, with the supercharged particle beam turret and tip core turret being nerfed to compensate for the quad turret upgrade. But that happened a while ago. That defensive tower is quite annoying me, so for my bikes to be potent in this push, I need to somehow secure that defensive tower. My aim here is to take it over with a Saboteur. Because I have the cybernetic legs, I can make a Saboteur and those move very quickly. Saboteurs, Enlightened and Tip Troopers all benefit from that cybernetic legs upgrade. Shock Trepper knows I've got a group of bikes at his expansion. He's ready for them, but he's not really sure about what else I'm doing. got these units here. I don't want to attack the spike and give it away. I can take over that spike of his with my saboteurs, which is what I will attempt to do here. Trying to find the ideal place to drop a barracks, because if I can get a barracks in front of this defensive tower, that tower won't be able to snipe the engineer that he builds. He won't be able to snipe the engineer with that defensive tower.
Unit lost. Cancel.
I built 6 harvesters, so when my Tiberium field depletes, I'll have a more efficient economy due to the long leaching of the Tiberium. However, I can drop another refinery because I put my tier 2 at the expansion. Sadly, I was unable to put the defensive tower there. This 2-spike eco is pretty sick, and with the combination of Enlightened and Tip Troopers, Raider buggies will get locked down and destroyed relatively easily. I'm going to synergize this further by building a Voice of Kane. And for all of you unaware, Voice of Kanes, they buff the rate of fire of your infantry by 50% and decrease incoming damage by 25%. Which is going to be helpful in the case of these Venoms. But because I researched the quad turret upgrade earlier, these AA turrets are going to be effective in the defense, taking out both of those Venoms promptly. Sadly, I did lose some of my bikes there to that defensive tower, which was unfortunate. So that was a bit wasteful there. I should have ideally gone in and killed it with my Tip Troopers, and then I would have had a few extra bikes in this push. Now, Shock, he's gone for the quad turret upgrade himself, which does make Nod turrets better than they were in previous versions of this game. And you see he's also got the Dozer Blade Scorpion tanks, which can crush my elite infantry. So this is all going to come down to micro. Venoms aren't an answer to this, just due to those AA turrets. My MCV also has some EMP resistance. It is known as the backup generator. I covered this in my 10 things you didn't know about Kane draft video. But yeah, the buff of the Voice of Kane really showing in this engagement. Despite Shock having all those shredder turrets, the majority of my infantry still is alive, though it is hard to replace because I am long leeching Tiberium at my expansion. I'm still bringing in eco, but it's tricky. I was hoping that he would have sold some of these defensive towers off in the bottom, but unfortunately they still remain. I can EMP them, however, and just quickly take them out. Buggies, as you saw, they aren't the answer. We've got Spectre Artillery now to combat my base push. This was his natural response to what I had built. More quad turret shredders being deployed. I'm expecting more Venoms. Haven't seen them yet, but I'll keep this SAM turret queued nonetheless. You can see the silhouettes of some Venoms there with the shadows. My answer to the shredder turret wall, though, is definitely the beam cannon, which is available to me at tier 2. This game is pretty crazy, though, as you can see. Not a strategy that you've seen really at all with the base push. And only possible due to changes made in the community patch. With those quad turrets and health buffs to the Enlightened. The Voice of Kane also has additional radius compared to vanilla. You can build more than one now as well. And now once those defenses are dealt with, I can sweep in and take out that tier 3. As long as I keep nearby the Voice of Kane, these Enlightened will be very hard to dislodge. And their damage is pretty pitiful without supercharged particle beams, but with that Voice of Kane buff, they feel much better, even against enemy armor. But yeah, Shock Trooper will throw in the towel, and that is going to be GG. I was very surprised by that. I was scratching my head, how did he lose that game? Those Scorpion tanks going down was definitely pivotal in that fight. I didn't lose enough infantry for him to claim victory in that, and I had captured his spikes, so I was receiving passive income. He wasn't getting that income. I was. I destroyed the defensive tower. I think I could have destroyed that defensive tower earlier, but it would have given away the element of surprise I had with all those tip troopers. He was going Scorps, he engaged, and ultimately underestimated my push there. But I think I could have done that better. Could have gone for laser turrets. I possibly could have even put a third refinery at my green tib expansion. Alternatively, I could make an outpost in the future and deploy it near the blue Tiberian field. Nonetheless, guys, hope you all enjoyed this video, and this is going to be Master Leaf. Peace out.